Hello everyone, my name's Hemingway Jones. Welcome to the channel. I'm glad you found your way here to YouTube's best kept secret place to talk about fountain pens, inks, journals, and journaling, and just about anything and everything that's going to keep you inspired. And along those lines today, I'd like to introduce to you my favorite brand of journals. This is a journal brand that's so magical, so interesting, that they almost seem as if they were found in some ancient library. And if you've been following this channel, I think you already know that of course I'm talking about the Etsy store Bottega Obscura. Before we get into it, I'd like to do a quick pen check. Today, I'm using Ferris Wheel Press's brush pen. Now this was a gift from Ferris Wheel Press to do content over on my TikTok. They know nothing about my YouTube, so this is more of a bonus just for you. So I've been using this for about a week now, and it's a lot of fun. It's just an elegant and interesting pen with perhaps one of the most beautiful nibs and beautiful grip sections I've ever seen on a pen. There's so much to say about this that I'm shortly going to film a full review and share it with you all. So if you're a fan of this channel, you've heard me say that the most important thing to me is journaling. The reason I collect pens, my whole interest with inks and nibs and handwriting and everything else, all comes down to the practice of taking 20 minutes a day to set aside, gather my thoughts, and to work on being a better person by journaling about my goals, my ambitions, my life, my mistakes, my projects, whatever it is that I'm trying to advance goes into my journal. So I have basically a roadmap of my mind, my anxieties, my hopes, my fears, my worries, just about anything that goes through my stream of consciousness over the last 20-something years. And I found that that's a very valuable tool to go back and reflect on from time to time. So in seeking out journals, I need to feel inspired to write by the nature of the thing in which I am writing. So I have collected journals from my travels. There's a stationery store in Venice that I love. I've bought many journals from them, and usually if I go somewhere and I see a nice leather-bound journal, I'll pick it up as a memento of being there. Now, this one particular type of journal is so inspirational to me because it sort of encompasses all the things that I look for in a journal. And that's incredible craftsmanship, beautiful leather, beautiful paper, and just the sort of idea of something enchanted and ancient and interesting, and something that I know is going to last for a very long time. So I recommend leather journals because I journaled pretty much my whole life, but most of my paper journals just didn't survive. They either had water damage or at some point they sort of looked like trash and they were just lost or thrown away, which is really sad. I actually just recently found a journal from an Italian trip I took in the 90s, which is kind of fun. So finding a decent leather-bound journal is fairly easy. Barnes & Noble carries a brand out of Florence that's decent and will certainly get you by. But if you're looking for something a bit more elevated and you want to find just the right journal, that's a bit more of a challenge. And for me, I searched high and low for something that would be my next journal, and I was really looking for something incredibly interesting, something that looked like a grimoire or some kind of an old record book from the Venetian Republic. I wanted it to have this character, this sort of ancient feel to it, as if you were opening up a long forgotten memoir or spell book or something magical. So I did a search on Etsy for Venetian leather notebook, and a lot of things came up, and a lot of them really weren't that great, but some of them look really quite nice. And one of them that came up was for this store, Bottega Obscura. And so I ordered my first journal from him, and when it came in, I was so impressed with how beautiful it was. And I wrote him back and told him, and we began this correspondence, and I bought some other journals, and he gave me some journals, and we just really developed a nice close friendship. He's a really lovely guy, and I learned that he makes these things by hand. So there's that one-on-one craftsmanship. It's very artisanal. It's just him and his tools producing these fantastic journals. He also does bound books, but my emphasis is on the journals. So one of the things that I love about these are their amazing covers. The covers are all unique. They have incredible tooling. They usually have some kind of symbols that are ancient and interesting. The tooling is done magnificently. I also love the raised bands on the spine because they look so amazing shelved. And now I have this fantasy, if you will, or should I say goal, because I'm actually well on my way, of having a whole shelf of these beautiful journals with the raised band leather spines. I think that's going to look so amazing. The journal itself is very easy to open, to write into, so it makes using the journal a joy. He also uses two different types of paper. There's a sort of faded antique looking paper that's really interesting and looks fantastic with inks like diamine oxblood, and it's that reddish visceral color against that faded antiqued, almost tea-stained paper that looks really interesting. And he uses a much brighter cream that's 95 grams per square meter. That's a really nice paper as well. So you can specify which you're looking for. He's very easy to work with. He accommodates requests. He'll put your initials on it as well. You've seen it in some of my B-roll. He very boldly places your 3 initials somewhere on the cover, and that's a very nice touch. Other very nice touches are the marble end paper, which pastes down onto the cover and just looks absolutely beautiful. He also includes an attached leather bookmarker that's tooled as well. It's nice and thick, and it has just an interesting ancient monkish look to it that complements the journal perfectly. The side of the pages are often carved with interesting patterns or colored. Each detail is really attended to, and the craftsmanship is of the highest quality. When you write in this journal, you truly feel like whichever words you commit to these pages will be here for a very, very long time and may be discovered one day and marveled upon by some future generation. Now, these journals aren't cheap. They reflect the fact that they are produced from one person. And it reminds me a bit of what it must have been like in the Middle Ages when you ordered a book and it was specially made, hand scribed, and it came to you. They were expensive, they had value. This journal is similar. It's expensive and has quite a bit of value. But I look at it like, how much does it cost per use? If you're spending 20 minutes a day with a journal, then you're getting a lot of enjoyment out of it. And even if you consider all the benefits, the personal benefits to journaling, then you add that in too, then this kind of price is acceptable. But it is a stretch, and I know for many people, $300-400 for a journal is just beyond what they're willing to spend. Now, personally, I rather wish that it was a bit more like it used to be for me 10 years ago when I would buy a journal and it would last me a year sometimes more. Nowadays, I go through a journal sometimes in 3 months, sometimes in 6 months. Yet I still feel like this is a tremendous value because I get so much enjoyment out of it. And it's such a beautiful thing unto itself. I just marvel at it. And owning it and using it inspires me to open up, to commit certain thoughts to it that I may not otherwise. So I just enjoy the experience and I try not to think about the bill. And I just figure that's part of the cost of having something beautiful and unique. Now, I completely understand if you believe something different. Maybe you want to commit your thoughts to something like a moleskin and whatnot. And I would say that the most important thing is to write and make sure you're writing every day. Not how much you spend on a journal, but for me, it's a good value. I love owning these. I'm proud to own them. I love having the artistry, and I feel like I am purchasing a piece of art and keeping an incredible producer of an absolutely beautiful product in business by purchasing his items. And I'm happy to tell you all about them as well. So the name of the shop is Bottega Obscura. He's on Etsy. It's beautiful old world crafted journals. He doesn't know I'm making this video, but I'm so inspired by these. I love owning these. You've seen them in my B-rolls forever. I just knew I had to at some point sit down and share it with you. What do you think of Bottega Obscura? Is it a brand that you're interested in? Do you own one of his journals? If so, tell me about it. Is there another brand that you like or are interested in? Do you use leather journals? Let me know what kind of journals you use. I'd be really interested to hear. Let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching this video and for reaching the end. If you do me one more favor, please like, comment, and subscribe. We're a very small channel and it looks like we're going to remain a small channel, but it would be nice to find more like-minded people. So if you could share this with them, I'd love to bring them in and increase our conversations. Thanks. Well, that's it for today. I'll release a new video next week. So until then, take care of yourselves and I'll see you further up the road.